Today I'm going to cook tinda, Indian vegetable. It's part of the marrow family. To be able to select some edible tinda, it's useful to feel them and look at the colour and also the size. The smaller ones are usually the best, and inside there are seeds, and what you're trying to avoid is the real hard seeds that become really difficult to eat and to cook with. So inside here I would expect them to be soft seeds, and I'll demonstrate that to you shortly. There is just under a kilo of tinda in that colander. To that amount I'm going to add 3 small onions that are diced, sort of like that, or 2 large onions. It would be to that amount. There's going to be 1 chilli cube, 1 ginger and garlic cube, 1/3 of a tin of plumbed tomatoes, and I'm going to use 2.5 teaspoons of salt to that dish. There's going to be garam masala and turmeric added to that, and this dish will be cooked in some vegetable oil or rapeseed oil or something like that. So to the onions I'm going to add salt that I said, the ginger, chilli, garlic, tomato, and the tomato. And then I'm going to add the oil, roughly about 2 tablespoons in there. Put that on. Give it all a stir. Put the lid on it. Put it onto a medium heat. Just allow it to come to a bit of a simmer. What you want is the onions to become translucent and almost cooked. Whilst the onions are cooking for the tinda, I'm going to prepare tinda. This is what you want. This is an absolute perfect tinda. It's soft, very few seeds, or if there are, they're very tiny and edible. And I'm going to leave this sort of, I'm going to do these in quarters. That's the kind of size I want. So when they cook through, they're easier to cook, etc. Some people will cook this dish as a whole. So they will simply do a quarter mark like that and cook it in the onion base. And that is it. I'm going to cook them in quarters today. So I will cut it all the way through. So whatever your preference is. I find that sometimes leaving them as a whole and just sliced as a quarter at the bottom takes slightly longer to cook than doing them in this way. Once you've cut them all, you'll need to wash them and have them ready to add to the onions when they're ready. So out of all of that, I found one that isn't quite so as fresh. So there you can see that the seeds are dark, and those will be really hard and really inedible. So all you need to do is just take them out. You can still eat the surround. It's just the seeds, so just lift them out. And that is it. So the onions have been allowed to cook, sweat down for about 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. This is how they're beginning to look at this particular point. I'm going to give that another 10 minutes before I add anything else to it. So place the lid back on and let them cook. So the onions have had another 5 minutes to cook. Start to cook the pan. To this I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoons of turmeric. Give that a stir. couple of minutes for that to absorb through before I add the tinda. To this I'm now going to add the tinda. In they go. Give them a stir. Doesn't matter if any water went in. If you need a little bit of water, is fine. They will release just a tiny bit, but if the pan is sticking too much, just add a little bit of cold water to it. Just to give it a little bit of steam to cook in and to lift the sticking from the pan. So I'm going to allow that, say, 5 minutes. And then give it another stir and see how it is for water and for cooking. So tinda have had 5 minutes cooking. I'm just checking them now. They're sticking to the pan. So I am going to add some water at this stage. Half a glassful at this moment. In that goes. I may need to add some more. That'll give me some time to buy with. That's going to add some moisture to the dish, but also to allow the tinda to cook in that water and stop the pan from sticking too much. So I'm just checking the vegetable dish now. Looking nicely. Do I need more water? I might just add a quarter of a glass, not all of that, just about that much to allow it to cook a little bit more. I will also check where it is in cooking at the moment. Not quite there. I want to be able to get through that skin quite smoothly, but I needed to put a bit of pressure on this occasion, so it still needs more cooking. Probably needs another 15 minutes of cooking, but I will stir every 5 minutes to check on it. The tinda are almost there. I'm going to add to that, before I stir anything, a teaspoon of garam masala. Give it a stir. Test it. You can see it's going even much better. But I'm going to leave it another 5 minutes just to allow the garam masala to absorb itself. You'll see the sauce itself is reduced, and that will serve up nicely. So the tinda have another 5 minutes. They're going to be done. So I will now add the frozen coriander to the dish. Again, you can use fresh, you can use frozen, that's fine. Add it in. And that's ready to serve.